Hey guys, how's it going? Kulprit here, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about something I've been thinking about. We've been looking at Medal of Honor Warfighter for the last couple days or so, and we've been trying to analyze it, compare, contrast with, Battlefield 3, with, even some Call of Duty games, and games we've played in general, and just getting to know the new systems and the new classes and what's strong and what's weak, and it's kind of got me thinking a little bit, and basically the question I wanted to pose to you guys today is, do you think the traditional class system is outdated? And before I go any further, I just want to intro the video. This is a Rush gameplay on Bandar Desert. This is from maybe the first week of release, so it's a little bit dated now. I haven't played a whole heck of a lot of Battlefield 3 since, to be quite honest. I've just been distracted by other things, most mainly Borderlands 2, but I'm looking to get back into it. The itch is kind of coming back. And of course, I'm going to be doing Medal of Honor Warfighter when that does release. So anyway, like I said, we've been talking about Medal of Honor Warfighter and comparing it and looking at it and digging into it, and it's you're in the game and you're trying to figure out, all right, if I go with Point Man, I get this, but I sacrifice that, whereas Spec Ops, I get this, I sacrifice that, and it's just for me, it's kind of getting tedious. It's the same template over and over and over again, and I guess a lot of us, I think, were hoping Medal of Honor Warfighter would kind of, innovate a little bit, and they have in some ways, certainly. But, I'm just kind of growing tired of this same template, and I'm hoping that some developers can kind of think out of the box a little bit here. I mean, and the idea I kind of propose, or that I'm thinking about is, and I point to, again, I point to this game a lot when I'm talking about innovation in FPS, is Blacklight Retribution. And for those of you guys that don't really play on the PC and don't know, Blacklight is a free-to-play game, and, by being a free-to-play game, you're forced to innovate. You're forced to think out of the box. You're forced to constantly be creating new content that you would then be encouraging your users to buy and acquire and play for. And so I'm a big proponent of the free-to-play model. I really like it. I think it works really well for both the gamer and the developer. As long as you do the job well. I mean, too often we see developers build a game, create a game, and ship it and just abandon it. Free to play, you cannot do that. If you do that, you're not going to make any money. It's really simple. So I like to look over the fence and look at free to play every now and then and just see what they're doing, because a lot of these smaller developers and a lot of the developers that are going free to play, they're forced to innovate because they need to kind of draw attention. And one of the things that Blackout, I think, does well, aside from just creating a ton of customization and content, is it's just an open system. I mean, you can go in and you can put, you can take any gun with any kind of tool, with any secondary, and I really like that style. I mean, think about it now, all these games, all they talk about, I mean, over and over and over and over again is, customization, 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 and they cheat the numbers a little bit. They count all the different paint jobs and things like that, which I think is silly. But, we're seeing more and more and more. I mean, Battlefield 3 was one of the first with just tons of attachments for each gun. A lot of the same attachments, and that's what I'm talking about. They cheated a little bit, but, I mean, it was great. Medal of Honor Medal of Honor Warfighter, I'm going to have to get used to that, I guess, has a lot of attachments, a lot of customization. I mean, it's unfortunate the menus are so bad. You can't really get a good grasp on just how much there is. So why not let us use it? I mean, there's just too much, I think, in games at this point that just don't get used, and I'm kind of sick and tired of going, this tool will be really useful, but I just don't feel like using, a PDW or a shotgun, or something like that. I mean, I know those are all-purpose weapons, but you get it. Like, okay, just because I want to take out armor, I have to take a gun that's only good for up-close ranges. It's just, I would really rather, and let's just imagine for a minute, you're in the respawn screen in Battlefield 3, and your squad mates are on TeamSpeak, and they're yelling at you that, an LAV just rolled up on A on Grand Bazaar. So obviously now you're in the spawn screen, you go to loadout screen, I gotta take out that armor, and so you gotta grab an RPG. But you know what? I'm really good with assault rifles, so I'm just gonna grab my assault rifle, and then maybe I'll grab something else, like and it has custom trade-offs on each item, obviously, and you can literally create your own custom kit based on what you're good at, what you enjoy, and what the situation calls for. You don't have to like say, I need an RPG right now, so therefore I have to sacrifice all my ability to shoot anything at mid-range. I just, I think that's outdated, and I wish they would just give us the freedom. And I think that would really fit in a Battlefield style game, because all they do is talk about freedom and sandbox and all this stuff, where I could just You know, in real life, think about it now. I mean, I'm not a military guy, but I read a lot. I watch a lot of things, and you know, they get spec'd for a mission, or they get, you know, they get told what their goal is, their mission is. And then, I mean, a large part of what these guys do as professionals is knowing exactly what they need to do the job, and that's all they need. That's all they take. They don't take every tool in their war chest, because you can't do that. So they know exactly what they need. They grab exactly that. They grab what they're good at, what their specialty is, and they go. They don't, you know, they take the best tools for the job, the ones they're the most efficient with, and they do the job. And I wish a game would kind of take on this style. It just seems like it would be more fun to me. It seems like, you know, now it would, on one hand, it would eliminate all this problems we clearly have with balancing classes. I mean, think about it in Battlefield 3. You know, Assault obviously is the god class. I mean, the other classes have usefulness, but, you know, without a specific niche reason, you're running Assault. So, and they're constantly trying to balance and create a need for engineer and support, basically, and even recon. I mean, think about close quarters. I mean, a lot of the weapons on engineer class lended themselves to close quarters. You wanted to use them. You wanted to use that MTAR, say, but to use that MTAR, you were basically sacrificing an entire piece of equipment, because the Stinger wasn't useful, the RPG and whatever the Igla were borderline useful, not really. You'd much rather have a med pack or something else, or even ammo. So that's my point, is to use these weapons, I had to sacrifice a large part of my loadout. I think that's silly. Why not let me grab that MTAR and go grab an ammo pack in my gadget slot and go? It's gonna completely remove the class balancing issues that a lot of games have a really hard time with. I do understand you're going to obviously get some god templates out there, but we have that now. So I don't, you know, it would be, in my opinion, a lot more a matter of personal style, a personal preference. You know, sure, we would have still seen a crap ton of M16, you know, med kits, and that would be what we saw. So nothing would have really changed. But as I jump into a close quarters map, I could have still had that med kit, and I could have grabbed an MTAR that was more situationally prudent. It just seems to make a lot of sense to me. So I think tomorrow my video is, I'm actually going to take this a little further, and I'm going to talk about a concept that I've kind of been really hoping someone would do. And the basic premise, I'll give a little teaser here, I guess, is I would really love to see your loadout, your soldier's loadout, based on weight. And, you know, the only limiting factor is the burden it places on your character. Obviously, you would have a max weight. As you approach that max weight, your character would move a little slower. You might not have the stamina, you know, other players would. Or do you keep yourself light and you don't carry as much, and you're able to move faster, you're able to run longer, things like this. It just seems to me like a really natural progression, and it would give you a lot of things to think about as you're equipping that character. And to me, things like that are incredibly fascinating, and I would love to do videos on that. I mean, think of how many videos, instead of gun reviews, we would see loadout reviews, and you would really feel like a real tier 1 operator, to steal some of Medal of Honor Warfighter lingo, as you're sitting there trying to figure out, all right, here's my task at hand. I want to bring all that I need to do this task, but I don't want to bring a pound more, because I want all the speed I can get, I want all the stamina I can get. It would be really, really cool if done correctly. So I'm going to talk about that in another video, because I want to give it plenty of time, and I don't want to run long like a lot of my videos do. So guys, with this in mind, I'd really like in the comments if you guys could give me your loadout. Like, give me your optimal loadout. No classes, guys. You can use any piece of equipment, any gun, any secondary, in any slot. So you can use any primary, any secondary, any first gadget, any second, you know, gadget, anything like that. Let me know what it is. I'm really curious to see what it would be. I'd have to give it some thought myself. I'm going to post down in the comments myself if you're interested. So let me hear what you got to say. Otherwise, guys, if you listen this long, I would really appreciate the like, and I would love to hear your feedback on this, guys. So thanks a lot, like always. I appreciate you listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.